On today's show, JERZY GREGOREK, the former Olympic weightlifting champion, shares his proven system for improving your health.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrivetime Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Dr. Z, on today's show, we have an incredible guest. Are you psychologically prepared, Dr. Z?
I am physically prepared because I'm just gonna go out there and make a blanket promise.
Yeah.
If after this show your body's not happier, we'll give you a full refund of whatever you spent to listen to the show.
That's a true statement. Mr. JERZY, welcome onto the show, sir. How are you?
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope everybody will be happy and body will be happy as well.
There we go. Come on now.
Well, now, I know that all the listeners right now are going to thehappybody.com. Everybody's going there right now, thehappybody.com. They're going there right now to see who you are and what you're all about. I know you've had tremendous success throughout your career, but I'd love to start at the very beginning. Where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in Poland, and I grew up in communistic Poland. So it was a strange place to grow up because communism was something very debilitating. So you had to learn how to look at the teacher or the boss and then be obedient and not to have the fighting eyes. So if you had it, you could be punished. So it was a strange way of living.
Can you, for the Americans out there, this is not a political show, but I think the Americans out there, many of our listeners, I'd say probably 80% or so are from America. We have listeners in Australia, some in South Korea. And I won't get into any political tangents. I just want to get your take on this. Can you talk about the freedoms that you enjoy here in America? And just for a moment, contrast that versus a heavily regulated, AKA communist country, and why you decided to come to America?
Well, I think that the most I appreciate is just that freedom and independence. And then in America, you can be left alone and you can do whatever you want to do. But of course, freedom comes with responsibility. And then it is really up to you. In communism, you had to do what you were told. So big difference. When I was 15, I remember somebody asked me where I was born. Like, you ask here what state or whatever. And I always felt like physically I was born in Poland, but my brain was born in America. It was really funny that I like to, and maybe a lot of Polish people felt the same way, that it was something very, very wrong how we live life, that we didn't have this freedom and we kept fighting for it. And many of us lost lives, but that's how it is. Sometimes you just ethically you cannot do otherwise, and then you end up to losing your life. And then if you're lucky, you survive.
Now, in 1986, you became a political refugee, I believe. What was the process like immigrating from Poland to the United States?
Well, I was told that I had to go, otherwise I could have I could lose my life in Poland. So I ended up in Sweden. And when I was in Sweden, I asked for political refugee status, but I couldn't immigrate to U.S. From Sweden because Sweden is neutral country, so I had to go somewhere else. So I went to, during this time, there was something going on in Warsaw. So there was somebody that was underground spy and was giving people away, and there were a lot of arrests. And CIA contacted me when I was in Sweden. And because of that, I ended up in Germany, in Munich. And then from there, very fast, I ended up in U.S.
Now, did you have to sneak into Sweden and then sneak into Germany? How did you get over there?
There was the time that Poland would give the passports to anybody that wanted to live. It was just the time that troublemakers could go away. And it was a different way that it was in 70s. But even though, we, my wife and I were afraid to go together, so she would stay in Poland and I left. So she had to stay for me to return, I guess. But I didn't return, and she had a lot of, problems to actually leave the country, and she was very lucky actually to live.
Now, you went on to win 4 World Weightlifting Championships and to establish 1 world record. Where were you living when you were beginning your weightlifting championship career? Where were you in the United States at this time? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was in U.S. and it was I ended up in U.S. in '86. In '86, I contacted Bob Heiss. He was the president of AWA, American Weightlifting Association. And basically, I wanted to know what to do with myself to work as a fireman or weightlifting coach. I really didn't know where and how my way is going to be in U.S. But Bob told me that there is something new. The first thing he told me that weightlifting coaches, they actually don't teach weightlifting in U.S. So CrossFit was not yet there. So what they do, actually, they open the car shops and repair cars or something like that. And they do a pretty good job because they are, engineers usually and so on. So I said, well, I don't want to fix cars. And Bob said, you know what, you can go and find a gym. And there is something new that many athletic coaches don't like to do, which is personal trainer. That is the purpose of it is to work with regular people and help them to live a better life.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'd like to, try that. And I ended up in Power Source. I walk around. I didn't have a car. I lived in Los Feliz and started really kept walking, and found the Power Source and talked to the owner. And he gave me the shot. He said, okay, you can come and you can work with new people and show them the gym and respond to their questions, desires, and so on, and then write them programs, whatever happens. So I did that, and then I really fell in love with, figuring out a solution for different people with different problems and so on. I just felt like like a fish in the water. I just really liked that, and became very successful within maybe 6 months. I had about 100 clients, and work 16 hours a day and work until today. That's how it is. Working all the time.
Now I'm looking at pictures of you here. I mean, Z, you've seen some of these photos. I mean, Jersey.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You were jacked. I mean, you're still in great shape. I mean, but you were wow. I mean, wow. So I want to ask you this. I mean, what was your diet like when you were doing the World Weightlifting Championships? Did you just was it like Rocky where you just ate raw eggs? I mean, were you just what was your diet like then, and now what's your diet like today?
Well, the diet was very consistent. So let's say 3 months before championship. It's not Rocky really, so no running and it's Olympic weightlifting, so it's not really it's not entertainment. So
Right.
about 3 months before, I was about 12, 13 pounds overweight, and usually that's normal, about 10% body fat. And every week from then on, I would cut 1 pound of fat, and then from 10% I would go down to 3%. And because in weightlifting you stand on a scale, so if you want to use the most efficient body system, that you have to be on a scale.
Yeah.
So the way that would be the best would be to have the weight with the least fat and the least water. So, but it was in weightlifting is only 2 hours between the weighing and competition. It's not like in wrestling and boxing you have a day. So here you have to really know what to do and how to hydrate yourself after and how to dehydrate yourself before. So the first 3 months is, of course, losing the body fat, going from 10% to 3%, and be in the negative caloric intake, 500 calories, but consistent day by day, week by week. And then last 3-4 days more dehydration, the last about 3 pounds, and then you stand on a scale, and the weight. Let's say I was 136 pounds competition, so usually 136.6. So I was usually 136.4 or 5. So that's how precise the system of losing weight was. And then after that, right away, hydration. So hydration had to be very slow. So introducing water by sipping throughout 2 hours, and then getting food very slowly, like power bars, food that can assimilate by the body as liquid better, and very slowly, not too fast. So after 2 hours, then I was ready to compete. But it was quite an interesting craft, and today it's just the same way.
If you could think about your diet back then, like just a typical day, I mean, what would you eat during a typical day? Just see, we want to know this. We want to kind of.
Is it the 10 weeks before he's going to compete, or is this just the normal?
Just say your normal routine. This isn't a competition week. This is just your normal when you were at your weightlifting peak. What was your normal week like?
Well, you're talking about not competition, right?
Yeah, just kind of your normal, maybe it's the week after you just competed. You got another one in 20 weeks, and you're just kind of, what was your normal? I just want to know, like, what did you eat for breakfast?
Well, first of all, we have to set up where we are. So let's say I am 10 weeks before competition.
Got it.
And I live normal way. I am about 14 pounds overweight, and I eat everything, but I have the certain cup of the weight. So I will go to 150 pounds, and I will not pass that. So I cannot go to 160 because that would be too much weight for me to lose. So I usually, after the competition, go from 3% body fat to 10% and stay in the 10% range. So then I eat everything. I exercise daily 2 or 3 times a day, and for about 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I eat a lot of hamburgers, a lot of French fries, a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies, soups, everything.
What was your no-no? What was something you would not eat at all? What was like a no-no for you? Was there like a certain thing you said, I can't go to In-N-Out Burger? Can't go there, because if I go there...
I didn't have no. Even preparing for competition, I had hamburgers at that time, so no.
Really? Okay.
I had everything going on.
Now,
I just mostly was the knowing how many calories I can be on. Yeah. And calories was the drive, not really what we were eating.
So what? So on a I'm not trying to lose weight week. What would be your calorie count for the day?
It was about 3,000.
Okay.
And then when I wanted to cut down, then I would cut down 500 calories and start losing 1 pound a week.
Now, you and your wife in 2000, you guys founded the UCLA weightlifting team. What inspired you to do this? I mean, you obviously had mastered your training. You were very good as a competitive athlete. What made you want to found UCLA's weightlifting team?
So it was the competition of establishing the happy body as well, weightlifting. So a lot of people try to be around us and learn from us. And when we were preparing ourselves in Gold Gym in Venice, that was 1905, 6, 7. It was the situation that we needed more equipment, better equipment. But we had already our team, about 12, 15 weightlifters. So there was a need for better equipment, a better place, and be around more serious athletes, because the Venice Golds was mostly bodybuilders. So we were like unique there. As I said, the CrossFit at that time was not yet there. So we dropped the weights, let's say 300 pounds and then it was just a lot of noise and irritated, some people. So there was no really conditions for us to really train, really hard. So I went to UCLA and talked to Dr. Kreis, the head coach there, and I said that I have a team and then I would like to bring the team here and set up the UCLA weightlifting team. And he said, well, bring the team and I will see who you are and what we are and so on. And then if I like it, then we can go on and set up the team. So that's what we did. He looked at us for a week and said, I like what I see. And, the Bruins, will definitely learn how to be more powerful when you are here. And we started, we coach a lot of also other coaches, and one of them was Phil Wagner. He was the medical student and also the coach, and helped him also after when he finished medicine to set up his Sparta, the gym in actually Redwood City, not far from me.
So Jersey, when you were competing, were you competing for the communists, or were you competing for America?
America.
No, for America.
America!
We win. Right.
Hashtag winning. So when you came over in 86, how old were you?
86, I was, how old I was? 31, 30, 54, 32.
Well, I'm looking at your website right now. Your website, but for the listeners out there who aren't familiar with the Happy Body program,
right.
I'd love for you to share with the listeners about the website, because when you go to thehappybody.com, have you been to thehappybody.com?
I'm all over it right
I'm
now.
just telling you, Jersey. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really good at guessing ages. But see, he said that he was 31 when he came over, but he looks like he's 31 right here.
So you didn't start competing till after you were 30s?
Yeah, I started competing at so the master division starts at 35. So. And then every 5 years changes. So the senior division is between 18 and 35. Competed during this time in Poland. And when I was US, I became the master and then competed from 35 on until 50s.
Yeah. So I'm 54. If I wanted to compete, would they have like an old man I can come out with my walker and try to lift my walker off the stage?
Well, you still have to be really powerful at that time.
Oh, that doesn't make
sense. Is not.
Forget it. Forget that. That's no fun.
So, your age is 54, and what's your body weight?
I'm about 170 pounds.
Probably 70 of those pounds are his calves. Very powerful.
Yeah. So you're 170 pounds. So you probably the world champion at that class probably can lift 300 350, 340, something like that.
What?
350. Is is these pounds we're talking about, or ounces?
Yeah. If you're pounds,
ounces, I got a shot at this thing.
double your body weight, probably. Yeah, at your age.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Well, okay. Now tell us about the Happy Body program. I know some of the listeners are curious. What is the Happy Body program? When did you start the program? What's it about? Just give us a look inside the Happy Body program.
Well, when you have athletes, then they have very strong goals, and that completely differentiate them from non-athletes. So when I started really working with non-athletes that wanted to actually get better and have a good life physically, I noticed that people really don't have goals, and or they have vague goals. So there was a really need to set up the goals to know what you need to do, and also to develop any plans for the standards that you go toward the standards. It's like you want to go to Olympics, and let's say in sprinting or whatever it is, and you have certain standard, what is the world record, and then you drive yourself toward, and you develop the plan, you develop the strategies, and then on a daily basis and weekly basis, you know what to do, and whether you progress and whether you don't progress, then it's clear for you. So I noticed that people don't have completely any plan, and then they have vague ideas about what they want, and they want more energy or something, and then losing weight, but they didn't know how much, and so on. So I pursued to create like a sport for people, and something that people would have standards, they would have plan, and they would pursue that plan, and they would know when they fail and when they not, and they could really gain certain self-control, certain self-discipline, and they would engage micro-progression in order to make themselves better over time. So work on that, and then created the Happy Body program with standards, with plan, with measures, mathematics. So I wanted to avoid one thing. I despised the saying, maybe it works for me, maybe it doesn't. Such thing doesn't work with athletes. Athletes, for athletes, it has to work, and has to work for everyone, and not really this one or that one. So
it works.
Created the system and put the people into the system. So once they had standards and the plan, and then started executing, I just only noticed that it's very difficult for people to pick up on the hard choice, be consistent, and override the immediate gratification. So create delayed gratification is a very difficult thing, and I started working on that level, so that creating more philosophy, more poetry, more literature, and more focus on the knowledge and skills to help people to override that immediate impulses to reach for something that is not good for them.
Got it.
And then spent the last 10 years on doing that.
Awesome. Jersey, this is Paul Hood.
Yeah.
Hey, we about a year ago, I competed with my son in a physique bodybuilding show at age 50.
And they got jacked.
Yeah, it was great. I went from 175 to 147, 2% body fat in about 16 weeks. It was great.
Crazy. It was kind of disturbing.
Wow, that's incredible.
From the neck down, I wanted to touch I was sexy. It looked good. But, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But
you probably know what it means, details and then consistency, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
right.
right.
The mirror was his favorite picture frame in the house.
It was, baby.
yeah.
It was.
Yeah, he loved some of that.
They had to turn it around because I just stood there all day long. Hey, so my question is during that process, we, my strength and conditioning coach had us. We ate every 2 hours, and we measured our food and all of that. And then there was this other group that really preached intermittent fasting. Do you get involved in that conversation? And if so, what's your opinion? I mean, is it you just keep the calories coming consistently every 2 hours? to force your body to metabolize, or starve your body for a period of the day every day and only eat certain hours?
We have every 3 hours, and we explore all the other diets a long time ago, like once a day or twice a day, intermediate fasting, and so on. And it didn't work for the athletics because it made us weak, and that was no way for us to actually keep the energy. So it looks like the 3 hour span was the best way to do that. We do like fasting only, like, we have 5 meals and we have 12 hours and 12 hours no eating. But the whole thing to know when to eat, that you eat every 3 hours and not before, again, it's helping with this overriding that immediate gratification system, and also keep your metabolic rate, and also losing the fat, like slicing a little bit fat off your body system every 3 hours. Because usually that's what we eat. We eat only for 2 hours, but the last 1 hour, if you lose weight, the last 1 hour is the time when the body actually will give a little bit energy as fat to use by the body. But it cannot be too much. It can be, let's say, 100 calories every 3 hours, right? So that the body will give you. But if you ask for more, let's say, if you starve the body for 4 hours or 5, and the body wants actually the food, and the food is not there, the body will hang on to the fat and will give the muscle away.
Yeah, give the muscle
So,
away.
so the fat becomes really the security, and the body recognizes the fat as more important than actually the muscle. And that's how our experience is with really preparing athletes. The more is the consistency, and every 3 hours. This is the system that is the least aggressive and the least damaging system when we actually lose weight.
So, Jerzy, you're saying that the calorie count doesn't matter whether it comes from a fat, a carbohydrate, or a protein? I mean, in your system, it could be, because like you said, you eat anything. It's really the calorie count that's watching. 3,000 out of 2,500, then I would assume maybe another cut for the next week, or you just keep it at 2,500 after you've done it. But still, do you differentiate between the type of the source of the calorie, or is it just it doesn't matter?
The tough questions.
Yeah, we have a lot of on the Happy Buddies different snacks, like bread. We have yogurt. We have bars. Then we have fruits and nuts, and then you have juices and lattes, let's say. So it's up to the person to choose, and but eight choices are there, and the most important is that the choices are limited, so you don't have to think too much what to eat on a daily basis. So you really know what to eat, and you are relaxed, and you don't have anxieties and thinking systems actually what to eat.
Sure.
It's very clear for you, right? So it's more relaxed system. Now, for meals, we have lunch and dinner. And lunch and dinner, we have high energy food. It can be protein, animal protein, or it can be any grains, beans, and so on, and twice as much veggies. So that sets up the way of eating of the between snacks and meals. The most important is that we eat 1/5, let's say, of the protein or high energy food, because it can be rice and veggies. It can be even potato and veggies. It can be fish and veggies. But it's always twice as much veggies as whatever it is. Can be pizza, can be pasta.
Wow.
So any food that you would like to eat, it's going to be replacing the protein.
Now, I first heard about you while listening to the Tim Ferriss podcast, one of the top podcasts on the planet. A podcast devoted to life optimization and studying the habits and routines of the world's most successful people. And in that podcast, I learned quite a few things about you. But one is that apparently you know Naval Ravikant, who we often quote on this show, and a guy who previously founded ePinions that was acquired by Yahoo, and a guy who's invested in literally hundreds of businesses as an angel investor. Can you share with us about your experience on the Tim Ferriss podcast and getting to meet Mr. Naval Ravikant?
Well, I met Naval because of my other client, Jimmy Nicholas, who owns some restaurants in San Francisco, and like Cavalier and Marlowe, a very successful business that he has in San Francisco. But he really loved the Happy Body and loved the way that the Happy Body is set up, how we train to actually create over time a better body system, how the Happy Body has standards and pursue over the years to become more flexible and stronger and faster and have better posture. There's a certain brain that engages microprogression. So he said that I have a dear friend, Naval, and I would like you to introduce you, so maybe you can come for a dinner. I said, yeah, sure. So we came and we met Crystal and Naval, and I was very great discussion because I'm always to create the situation with progress that is goodness and success, right? So that was very interesting for Naval. He said, you know what? You can create actually a good something good in the world and succeed as well, right? So that's what he was also doing. So he started really liking the idea, and he started coming to my place, and he called my place that he said that I am very expensive trainer but very cheap philosopher. So
Nice.
at one point he actually pointed to the hard choices and easy life. He said that at the party one day, it was this Denali party, the Indian holiday. And then he said that there is very difficult to say something meaningful in a few words. And he said, from Aristotle, I learned, know yourself. So, and then he said, so I engage really in pursuit of really learning about who I am and discovering really myself in the world. And he said, then from Buddha, I learned that desire is suffering. So I try to deal with it. So I would detach yourself from desire and the work in the world and produce the progress, but without expectations. And then he said, from Jersey, I learned that hard choice is easy life. And, by that, I learned how to live, how to choose, that when something is important, how to recognize what is the hard choice. And because of that, I kind of lean toward, seeing actually my saying, Naval first pointed to it, that is actually very important saying that I used and started more talking about it.
Now, I want to ask you this question. See, I know a lot of listeners want to know this. They want to know.
They want to know,
Jersey,
them.
what are the 3 foods, maybe 2 foods, 5 foods? What are the things that definitely cause the most weight gain? Is it just sugar? Is it alcohol? Is it graham crackers?
Is it sugary alcohol? I mean, what is it?
What
is it?
Why is he got to go negative like that?
What are
I
the
understand.
3 things?
This
where,
was
like,
a positive show.
I want the 3 things that are supposed to all
you could be in the gym. You could be in the gym just working out 2 hours a day. But if you eat this or drink this, it's going to cause
you're
weight
done.
gain.
I don't
wanna hear
What is
this.
it, Jersey?
It's calories. So, we follow calories. We don't really follow what food. You can follow what food you want to eat from the perspective of health. What is healthy and what is not. But if you want to eat French fries every day and lose weight, you will. So it really doesn't matter. So if you want to be healthy, that's a different question.
Jersey, don't you think so? So you preach a lot of the vegetables, 2 times vegetables based on the
Right.
other stuff. My trainer basically said eat all the vegetables you want, and the more you eat, the better, because it's kind of like it's very good for you, but they're empty calories. And so you're using up calories
Oh,
that
wow.
you wouldn't use for the hamburger. So you just eat a smaller part of the hamburger or a smaller part of the pizza because you're using up double calories on the vegetables. Now, I love vegetables, so that was easy for me.
Empty calories, well, they are really great calories. Actually, the vegetables actually. Naval once said, nobody has ever died because of eating too many veggies, right?
Right.
So, but vegetables are very important because they are anti-inflammatory. So, and also alkaline. So, it's very important to eat as many veggies as you can on a daily basis. So, twice as much veggies on the plate is just very not really pushed by very subtle way to introduce veggies to people so they could actually eat veggies, because usually people don't have twice as much veggies on the plate, right? But vegetables are used for a lot of, cancer healing and all kind of healing. And, it's very important for our system. And we know that, certain illnesses in the past were because we didn't have veggies in the system. So it's important to have them as much as possible.
Got it.
Like I would agree with your trainer. Today I have about 8 pounds of veggies a day.
8 pounds?
I eat 8 pounds of veggies a day.
What's your favorite vegetable, by
8
the way?
pounds a day?
What's your favorite?
Yeah. Well, that's not much, because when you think about those who actually want to cleanse the liver and heal themselves from problems and so on, they use 14 pounds.
14
16
pounds?
Yes.
So what's your move? What's your favorite vegetable? Come on.
What is
Give
it?
it up.
Yeah,
Give it up.
Quit holding back.
Well, first of all, you think about how you eat them.
Oh.
So when you have, let's say, a juice a day, that's 2-3 pounds of veggies, all right? And that's like 16 ounces of juice,
Got
right?
it.
And you have already. When you have a soup, then you can eat 2-3 pounds of veggies. Think about the 1 pound of veggie really is about 100 calories, right? So if you have juice from 3 pounds, then that's not really much. We have 300 calories. So
That's like a Snickers
then,
bar.
then you have 3 juices, and then you have not many calories, right? So if you have 1 pound of green beans with salmon, let's say, right? So 1 pound of green beans is about 100 calories. It's really not many calories, but it's very filling and very nutritious.
Now, I have 2 final questions for you there. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right.
Did I cut you off there? The connection cut out for a second.
You did a little bit, but he was.
I'm sorry,
he
Jersey.
was
Did I
just
cut
saying,
you off there?
He said
All
a
right.
pound of green beans is very filling and not a lot of calories.
Okay, I don't want to offend our guest here. He was just getting on a roll, I think. and it cut
This
out.
dude's tough. This is a tough dude. I would not want to offend this dude.
Okay, now,
He'll come and weightlift you over his head.
so Jersey, here are my final 2 questions for you.
Right.
You wrote this book called The Happy Body. I'd love for you to share about the book. I think that's an important thing. I want to make sure you get a chance to share about the book. And also, we'd really like to get into your daily routine. What time you wake up and how you organize the first 4 hours of every day. So let's start with the book. What inspired you to write the book, The Happy Body, The Simple Science of Nutrition, Exercise, and Relaxation?
What inspired me is that, as I said, people really needed to pursue for themselves and to master their own life. And that mastery had to come from them and not from me. I coach people, 7 times a week, and then still they would not really achieve independence. So independence was very clear that they have to really be independent. From independence it goes the freedom and the fire from within. All of it, that it was really important. So and also I don't like when we complain and blame and others for our problems and so on. So I wanted to create responsibility. I wanted to create a person that is a master of his choices and doesn't blame, doesn't complain others for his failures. So creating a system that would allow that person to live a youthful life over time until 100 and beyond, and create a happy body system. That was my aim and the purpose. So I created standards for that. I created the plan. I created the whole thing, how to actually progress, how to build micro progression, and how to achieve the body that would be equal, let's say, 80-year-old weightlifting champion. From where I actually took all the mathematics to know how strong the person should be, or how fast or how flexible the person should be. So then I created also the system, the exercise system, the food system that would allow people to gain weight, lose weight, gain muscle, and then the system also that would help people to stress release, to be mindful, to be in a system that would be meditative system for 30, 40 minutes a day, that they would experience calmness, they would experience the system that over time they would feel that everything is good, everything is right in their life, and that good life is within the reach. They don't have to have anxiety anymore. They can actually have calmness and a good life.
Okay. Well, Z, I tell you what, this guy is dropping knowledge bombs. I feel like, Z, I'm almost scared. There's too many knowledge bombs.
There seems to be a tad bit of fear in you.
It's like running through a minefield of knowledge.
Socrates said, I want to live good life. I don't want to know how to live the good life. So Plato was the philosopher that wanted to know about living, but Socrates wanted to know to become the living, and that's the happy body is that way that you cannot really you can learn about it, but you will never never experience the happy body. So in a way, you need to go on and create for yourself that mastery, and stop really thinking what is it about really, because the life, you go through life and you live the life, and you live the life the way you actually created, and that's how it is. And if it's not good, if you feel like something is missing, then go and acquire the knowledge, then acquire the skills, and then actually start, creating and manifesting it. Like Wayne Dyer said, manifest your life.
So let me ask you this. If we're looking into your schedule and how you're manifesting these principles in your own life and you're living intentionally, what time do you typically wake up, and how do you spend the first 4 hours of every day?
So I wake up before 6, and I'm a very fast. I shave myself, I clean my teeth, right? And it takes me about 10 minutes, and then I have a first client at 6. All right. So I will sit with my client for, let's say I drink tea, and then we have a good time. We talk, then we go to the gym. Then all my clients are one-on-one, and I spend certain time with them to see how the mind is working, also how physically they work. So I go to the gym and I see how I can create progress and how that micro progression can be tweaked. So that's what I do. And then that person goes to meditation room, meditates for 5 minutes, and I come to the house, and then next client is coming in at 7. So, and then another comes at 8 and 9 and 10, 11. If I have 1 hour free, let's say, then I spend that hour on meditation. I spend that time on making food, or writing something, or talking to Anila about that something moves me So I will write a poem, and I spend time. So I cut my time, but I see that working with people is the most useful time. That actually, it makes me the most real. I am connected to something that is evolving, something that is a hard choice, and something that is upgrading the life. And we are doing this together.
Jerzy, you and your wife work together. You're saying you do all this together?
Yeah, but we see separately people. We don't sit with one person together. Sometimes yes. She does it. She has her own clients, but our clients are mixed. Sometimes she can be with my client, I can be with her. So it's not like my or her.
I think,
we do the same thing.
I think technically on your website, I think she's won more world championships than you. Or
yeah. She's a dumb, she's 60 years old today, but she still cleans, and jerk her body weight. So
there you go. I love a girl that can clean a squirrel here in Oklahoma. That's what we just clean a squirrel.
You've got the final question here.
Clean and cook. Okay, so I always like to play the game. If you could go back in time. So let's go back to 1986. You could fly back in the DeLorean time machine. and catch you coming off the plane to America or the boat or the train or however you got over here.
Skateboard.
Probably not a train.
Skateboard across the ocean.
Probably not. And you could sit down with yourself and say, Self, let me tell you a few things. What would you tell yourself at that point? What would you say to your younger self? Self? Let me tell you a few things.
Yeah,
eat more burgers? What would you say?
I'm thinking, but I move through life with appreciation of every moment, and I always say that the past is not interesting. That the present moment is interesting, like it is now.
Right.
So I believe that everything, whatever happened, needed to happen to be what I am today.
There you go.
So there is no way that I could actually speed up any process, because that I recognize as anxiety or something like this. So I have I have fantastic living. I always live in the present moment, and I see that in the present moment I only have the power to change. There is some insights about. In the present, I can think about the future, or in the present, I can think about the past, but I still in the present. So the present moment is extremely valuable, and that's the only moment that we actually live life. And I love the present moment. So
you would just go back and give him a big man hug and say, "Son, you're going to be okay," and walk off.
Yeah, good. Yeah, like that. Well, when you think about where I was, our luggage was stolen when we were from New York to Detroit, and we lost everything.
Oh wow!
You might say, watch the luggage a little better.
So, when we landed, I said, you know what? Maybe it's better to have nothing, and start, in America without anything what the past, came with us. So it was really, we had only $600 and
there you go.
And nobody else. So,
that's all you need.
But it's very interesting too, because you evolve, and there are people, and then when they are people, then you find them, and they will find you too. The people found us, and then help us, and then we found others and helped them. There are always people there, and mostly people are really good. So you don't have to worry wherever you go in the world.
Sure.
There are always people there.
Well, the thing I love about your story is, and what is inspiring, hopefully, to all the Thrive Nation, all the people that are going to listen to this, is that you've taken a passion.
Yep.
You've taken something you enjoy.
True.
You're taking something you excel at.
Right.
I mean, you could just have this as a side hobby. You could just say, you know what, I'm
Could
going
be a
to stay in
side
shape. I'm going to stay in shape. We competed back in the day. We were pretty good. And now I'm going to go punch a time clock somewhere and do whatever. But what you've done is you've taken your passion.
Yep.
You've taken the thing that you enjoy doing and you've turned it into a great business. And that's inspiring. And so people out there go, what do I do? You know, people are out there wondering how to start a business or take their hobby or their passion or their love and turn it into one. And that's what I love about your guys' story is that you guys have done that. And now you're making a great living doing the thing that you love doing.
And see, you know what I like to do on every show?
What's that?
I like to direct our listeners to go visit a specific website. I love to do that when I can.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're out there
That's
today and you
interesting.
learned something today, go check out thehappybody.com. Check out thehappybody.com. And I have no data to prove this, but Z and I have speculated that we've talked about this, that if the listeners don't go to happybody.com, there is a strong chance they will not have a happy body.
I mean,
We've
yeah,
thought
it's
about
a
it.
slight
Yeah,
to moderate,
yeah.
slight to moderate chance. We're not going to have a happy
If you
body.
Makes
wanna-
sense.
If you want a moderately happy body, then don't go to happybody.com. But if you want a happy body,
Well,
go to the happy body.
hey, the picture on your website of the little girl, is that your daughter?
Yes.
Okay, so you and your wife and your daughter. You guys are a beautiful family. So you're welcome. There's a little bit of eye candy, even
Yeah.
if that'll make your body happy there, just a little bit.
Yeah. Beautiful people on a beautiful, website,
beautiful people on a beautiful
thehappybody.com. Jersey, thank you so much for your time, my friend. And then we're going to hang up so that way you don't have to hang up on us. Thank you, sir.
That's fantastic.
Well done, Jersey. Well done.
Thank you,
Keep up the
Jersey.
good work. Make bodies happy.
Boom.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, Jersey, we're off. Quick question here for you. Did you have a good time today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. That was really fun.
Okay, awesome. Well, as soon as we get the show
you.
edited,
Thank you, guys.
we will send this link to you so you can share it or not share it to your heart's content. We're looking at kind of early May right now, placement based upon the ones we have ahead of you.
Right.
But we appreciate you so much,
Yeah,
brother.
thanks, buddy.
Thank you. I hope, we'll talk about this in about 2 years, free again. It would be, it's always like the time really changes. And when you
Yeah.
are contemporary, everything changes. I think the words change, but we do the same thing. That's what I would say.
Jersey, if you run into Naval Ravikant, you just tell him, you say, Clay Clark really wants to have you on the show. I've been trying to chase down that beautiful man for a long time, and I know he's in your dojo with you, getting in
Yeah.
shape. That's why he can't be on our show.
Clay,
But tell him he can be working out with you while we're doing the interview. He can be like
Right.
wearing a headset. We'll be
All
happy to
right,
interview him
I
while he's
will.
working out. Yeah.
Yeah. Say Clay wants to check out his happy body. No, I mean, no, that's not right.
No. You're misreading the notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
it's
Jersey,
confusing.
you take care, my friend.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
It was
Take care.
fantastic.
You're fantastic. Thanks.
Andrew, before we wrap up today's show, I just for historical record, I wanted to ask you, what is the official time? What is the official time right now? What is the time that you and I are experiencing on this great planet Earth?
Oh man, it is 3:03 a.m.
What time did you wake up?
I woke up at 1:45 this morning.
Really, 1:45?
I did.
Why'd you wake up that early?
I just don't like being late, so I always wake up stupid early.
Yeah, I woke up at 2:15.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Get some
well,
sleep.
let's go ahead and end the show with a 3:01 boom. So it's like a
Okay.
3:01 boom. That way we can celebrate the threeness in the morning
Yeah,
for historical purposes. All right, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Here we go. 3:01 boom.